Call this meeting to order for the Board of County Commissioners for Douglas County, Nebraska for Tuesday, February 10th, 2026. Please note that a copy of the Open Meetings Act is located on the north wall of the Legislative Chamber alongside an automatic external defibrillator. Please stand for the pledge. We will first go into the Douglas County Board of Equalization agenda. Roll call, please.
Commissioner Borgeson. Commissioner Kavanaugh is absent. Commissioner Fahey. Here. Commissioner Friend. Commissioner Morgan. Here. Commissioner Rogers. Mr. Chair.
Here. First items of business are items A and B. A being the approval of the minutes of the Board of Equalization meeting held Tuesday, February 3rd, 2026. B being a call for a meeting and set Tuesday, March 3rd, 2026 as date for hearing on certified assessment corrections reflecting the addition of omitted property to the tax rolls or increased value on property. Do I have a motion and a second for both? So moved. Motion by Morgan, second by Rogers. Please vote.
And commissioners, we're still having an issue with one of the voting machines, so we're going to be doing a voice vote again this week. So Commissioner Borgeson, Commissioner Fahey, Commissioner Friend, Commissioner Morgan, Commissioner Rogers, Mr. Chair.
Yes.
Motion passes 6-0.
Thank you. Next, we have our resolutions, items C through G, which we can take in block plus adjournment if desired.
Second.
Yeah, definitely. So that was a motion for C through G plus adjournment, but we will have discussion first. Commissioner Rogers?
I just want to ask for the record, is anybody here on C from, let's do with that. Yeah, North Omaha Church of God in Christ. Okay, thank you.
Mr. Assessor?
Just if you need it, Mike Goodwillie, Douglas County Assessor's Office. Item C is the return of an item that we have a history with. These folks did not file an application for 25 despite reminders on 11/1 of 25, 12/13 of 25, 3/14 of 25, and 5/27 of 25, all sent to the address they last gave us in their previous applications. The 5/27 letter, 5/27 of 25, was certified and was unclaimed. We then put it on the list for certified assessment correction to add value in late October. We sent another letter, also certified. That wasn't claimed either. That was one of the 3 items in Commissioner Rogers' district that he pulled because he wanted to reach out to them personally. And my understanding from speaking with Commissioner Rogers about it was these folks didn't respond. So finally, they sent us an application dated 1/5 of 26, basically a year late. I suspect what finally got their attention is they got a tax bill. But in any event, they filed it. We have recommended denial because it's out of time, and I guess their lack of appearance today is kind of typical of our experience with this organization. The deadlines for applying are not mere suggestions. They are written in mandatory terms, and about every 20 years the state Supreme Court said, yeah, the legislature really meant it. If you're asking somebody to subsidize the property taxes on your building, it's not unreasonable to do a filing on time every year. So anyway, that's where we are. This is a 25 application, and our recommendation is for denial. For item D, we have a number of applications for 2026 that fail on a couple of levels. I think the first 2 are not owned by the nonprofit that's applying for exemption. The latter 2 are kind of repeaters. There's a woman that keeps filing on these houses that her family once owned many, many years ago, and you look at the applications and they're complete gibberish. But when you get an application, you sort of have to deal with it. You can't put it in a file for people not to take seriously. So in any event, D represents the more current denials. E are the sort of usual amendments and alterations that happen with personal property returns.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any other comments or questions from board or public on any of the resolutions? Larry?
Larry Storr, 5015 Lafayette Avenue, Omaha 68132. I remember a time when the Douglas County county boards throughout the country were a place where the citizens could go to get help instead of denials. I have in my possession a list of 16 different tax-exempt properties around Douglas County and Omaha. These people don't get denied. One such is on the corner of Hamilton and Northwest Radio Highway. And I resent that somebody else gets tax exemption on 16 properties. They're probably housing homeless people. That's why they're not on the streets so much anymore. But they do wander the streets. I don't get any breaks on my property tax. Why should somebody that owns 16 damn houses get breaks? Thank you.
Thank you. Any other comments or questions on any of the resolutions? If not, we'll vote.
Commissioner Borgeson? Commissioner Fahey? Commissioner Friend? Commissioner Morgan?
Yes.
Commissioner Rogers? Mr. Chair,
Yes.
motion passes 6-0.
Thank you. That adjourns equalization. Before we go into Board of Corrections, we're going to briefly go into Commissioners' agenda. So Board of Commissioners, so we can do a special recognition. So with that, can you roll call Commissioners?
Yes. Commissioner Borgeson? Commissioner Kavanaugh is absent. Commissioner Fahey? Commissioner Friend? Commissioner Morgan?
Here.
Commissioner Rogers? Mr. Chair.
Here. All right, as we have many friends today to help us honor a life and special contributions made by Captain Patrick West during his tenure here and during his life, we will ask Director Myers and team to help kick us off with this special recognition.
Thank you, Commissioners. Michael Myers, Director of Corrections for Douglas County. And I have Pat's wife, Pam, at my side this morning as we honor Pat with this resolution. And before I read the resolution, I can't thank Pat enough for what he did for the department and what he also did for me. When I was selected as the director, with my background in basically mostly being in community corrections and programming and some exposure to the security apparatus, I had a lot to learn. And Pat was the person who I turned to. He never wavered in his support and his loyalty, and helped me get to the point where I was able to help make decisions with his support. So he was a tremendous asset to our department, and more importantly, he was a tremendous friend. And with that, I will read the resolution. Whereas in remembrance of Captain Patrick West, Douglas County recognizes that Patrick was a valued member of the Department of Corrections, having served the citizens of Douglas County for nearly 36 years. And whereas Douglas County recognizes that Captain Patrick West contributed to the Department of Corrections in a variety of ways, such as coordination of security operations, implementation of new technologies, and by mentoring countless staff members under his command. And whereas Douglas County recognizes that Captain Patrick West cared deeply for his officers and the welfare of incarcerated individuals. And whereas Douglas County recognizes Captain Patrick West changed the lives of countless Douglas County citizens by sharing his wisdom, compassion, accountability, advocacy, and encouragement. And whereas the Douglas County Department of Corrections will be forever changed for the better by the contributions of Captain Patrick West, and we will profoundly miss his presence. And whereas Douglas County and the Department of Corrections extends condolences to Captain Patrick West's family, members, and friends. Therefore, be it resolved by this Board of Commissioners hereby recognizes the life and contributions of Captain Patrick West, dated today's date.
Thank you so much, Director Myers. Motion to approve by Commissioner Borgeson, second by Commissioner Morgan, and we definitely welcome others to say a quick note.
I just wanted to thank Douglas County and everyone that has helped throughout the years, especially during his illness and passing. And I think we all feel a hole in not only his work family, but his family as well. So thank you.
Definitely. Thank you for being here and for supporting him through such a long tenure, 36 years. That's a good amount of time for a job we know can be difficult. So it takes a lot of family support to get through those rough times, for sure. So appreciate you being here, and we're going to vote. And if you feel comfortable, we could maybe take a picture in his honor and memorialize him. Okay. Commissioner Borgeson?
I just want to thank you for being here, and thank you again for giving us Pat for all those years. I was here the entire time that Pat was here, and he was such a honorable and dedicated employee, and you're right, he'll be missed here, but he will be missed sorely from his family. And seeing the number of people that went to his service was a sediment to the type of individual and he was, and what he gave to Douglas County. So I just want you to know it's very much appreciated, and we're very sorry for your loss.
Thank you. We'll take that vote, Mr. Clerk.
Okay. Commissioner Borgeson.
Yes.
Commissioner Fahey.
Yes.
Commissioner Friend.
Yes.
Commissioner Morgan.
Yes.
Commissioner Rogers. Mr. Chair.
Yes.
Motion passes 6-0.
All right. Thank you.
Can't really go down there.
Director Myers, do you know if Joseph Godek from Corrections was here today or is here today? No? Okay, just making sure. We could. Yeah, okay. We'll go ahead and knock out all the recognitions and proclamations while we're here, and then we'll go back to corrections, Board of Corrections, that is. So there was a recognition for another county employee who was retiring, Joseph Godek, who worked for Douglas County Corrections for 17 years. I don't believe he is here today, but we wanted to honor his service to the public and to the citizens of Douglas County. So I'll take a motion. Motion by Borgeson, second by Morgan. Let's vote on that one.
Commissioner Borgeson? Yes. Commissioner Fahey? Yes. Commissioner Friend? Yes. Commissioner Morgan? Yes. Commissioner Rogers? Yes. Mr. Chair?
Yes.
Motion passes 6-0.
And we have another proclamation that I will hand to Commissioner Rogers.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I'll read the proclamation and move afterwards. It says, whereas in 1776, people envisioned the United States as a new nation dedicated to the proposition stated in the Declaration of Independence that all men are created equal and that they are endowed by their Creator with certain inalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. And whereas Africans suffering enslavement were first brought involuntarily to the shores of the United States as early as the 17th century, and whose ancestors subsequently faced the injustices of lynch mobs, segregation, and denial of the basic and fundamental rights of citizenship. And whereas in the face of injustices, people of goodwill of all races in the United States have distinguished themselves with a commitment to the noble ideas on which the country was founded and fought courageously for the rights and freedoms of African Americans and others. And whereas many African Americans lived, toiled, and died in obscurity, never achieving the recognition those individuals deserved, and yet paved the way for future generations to succeed. And whereas African Americans such as Maya Angelou, Arthur Ashe Jr., James Baldwin, Clara Brown, Ralph Bunche, Shirley Chisholm, Frederick Douglass, W. Du Bois, Ralph Ellison, Medgar Evers, Alex Haley, Mahalia Jackson, Stephanie Tubbs Jones, B.B. King, Martin Luther King Jr., Coretta Scott King, Thurgood Marshall, Constance Baker Motley, Rosa Parks, Walter Payton, Jackie Robinson, Aaron Shirley, Sojourner Truth, Harriet Tubman, Booker T. Washington, the Greensboro Four, the Tuskegee Airmen, Prince Rogers Nelson, Reese Taylor, Fred Shuttlesworth, Duke Ellington, Langston Hughes, Muhammad Ali, Ella Fitzgerald, Mamie Till, and Edith Savage Jennings, along with many others who worked against racism to achieve success and to make significant contributions to the economic, educational, political, artistic, athletic, literary, scientific, and technology advancements of the United States. And whereas the contributions of African Americans from all walks of life throughout the history of the United States reflect the greatness of the United States. And whereas the February birthdays of Abraham Lincoln and Frederick Douglass inspired the creation of Negro History Week in 1926 through the efforts of author Dr. Carter G. Woodson, considered to be the father of Black History Month, and later in 1986 to officially become Black African American History Month, a month specifically set aside to recognize the heritage and achievements of Black people in the United States. And whereas Black History Month's 2026 theme is a century of Black history commemorations, reflecting on making a century of national commemorations of Black history and emphasizing the role that people of African descent have experienced in observing historical milestones in the struggle to gain freedom and equality. Among those milestones, commemorating the Haitian Revolution of 1791, the end of the Atlantic slave trade in 1808, and the end of slavery in Jamaica in 1834, the American Emancipation in 1863 and Juneteenth in 1865. Now, therefore, be it resolved by the Board of Commissioners of Douglas County, Nebraska, that this board does hereby proclaim February to be Black History Month and encourage every resident to annually recognize the importance of February as an opportunity to reflect on our complex history while remaining hopeful and confident about the path ahead and commemorating the tremendous contributions of African Americans in our history. And I would move to approve.
Second.
Thank you, Commissioner Rogers. We got a motion to approve by Commissioner Rogers, second by Commissioner Morgeson. And we'll go ahead and vote.
Commissioner Borgeson.
Yes.
Commissioner Fahey. Commissioner Friend? Commissioner Morgan? Commissioner Rogers?
Yes.
Mr. Chair.
Yes.
Motion passes 6-0.
Thank you. I'll take a motion to recess, Commissioners, so we can go back and finish Board of Corrections. Motion by Rogers, second by Fahey to recess. Commissioners?
Commissioner Borgeson? Commissioner Fahey? Commissioner Friend? Commissioner Morgan? Commissioner Rogers? Mr. Chair.
Yes.
Motion passes 6-0.
Okay. We had not started Board of Corrections yet, so I'll call a roll call for that.
Commissioner Borgeson? Commissioner Fahey? Commissioner Friend? Commissioner Morgan? Commissioner Rogers? Mr. Chair.
Here. All right. First, we have approval of the minutes of the Board of Corrections meeting held Tuesday, January 27th, 2026. Take a motion second. Motion by Rogers, second by Morgan. Please vote on that.
Commissioner Borgeson? Commissioner Fahey? Commissioner Friend? Commissioner Morgan? Commissioner Rogers? Mr. Chair.
Yes.
Motion passes 6-0.
Thank you. And we'll go into the report from Director of Corrections.
Good morning, Commissioners, once again.
Morning.
Michael Myers, Director of Corrections for Douglas County. You have before you my report for January of 2026. Following the 7th month of the fiscal year, we are $2,663,933 under budget. We do have some upcoming significant expenditures that will eat away at that surplus. However, I am pleased at how our budget is tracking thus far. $499,735 were spent on overtime costs in January. That is a significant increase, but it is attributable to having three pay periods in the month. Our records division processed about $760,000 in bond payments. 6 officers below the rank of sergeant and 1 sergeant left in January. This includes 2 officers who did not complete academy training. 26 cadets began academy training on January 5th. And as of January 31st, we were 103% staffed among all correctional officer ranks. In turning to enclosure number 2, community corrections and reentry services. The Sanction Center and Discharge Center and Traditional Discharge Center placed 12 individuals into community corrections, saving 69 jail bed days. Work release admitted 19 individuals. House arrest admitted 57 individuals. And the Reentry Assistance Program, or RAP, admitted 20 individuals. Reentry services and therapeutic communities in the jail. There were 81 individuals admitted to therapeutic community housing units. And there was a really nice story in January on KETV ran on one of our therapeutic communities and the murals that are being created inside of those housing units. There are currently 146 individuals on the GED wait list with 58 active students. We did have 1 individual achieve a GED. 25 individuals were referred to intensive outpatient treatment. 32 individuals received substance use disorder evaluations. And of note, 2 former participants, 2 former incarcerated individuals who participated in reentry services contacted their reentry specialists to provide updates on their lives. 1 has completed peer support certification training and is now employed with a local mental health agency. Pardon me. The other, who has a history of frequent incarcerations, reported that he is employed, enrolled in school, getting his own apartment, and has been free of incarceration for over a year. This speaks to the connections that our staff make with those who they serve, that there are people who take time to thank the jail for helping them turn their lives around. And turning to pretrial services, we are starting to see the initial benefits of the new software that was implemented. So there is a couple additional statistics. There is more to come as the data becomes more robust, and we're continuing to test and verify accuracy of other reports that will add to this as time goes on. There were 225 individuals placed on pretrial release in January. Over the course of the month, 1,571 individuals were supervised on pretrial release. 612 of those participated in the 24/7 sobriety program. 167 of those were supervised on GPS monitors, theoretically saving 3,998 jail days. Pretrial release theoretically saved Douglas County $719,640 in detention costs in January. Some of the new data that we have, 7 individuals were known to have missed their court dates. There may have been some more than that. We're working on getting all of the data to flow from each court. So these are known numbers, but that considering all of the typical failure to appear rate, that's pretty good data. 99.27% of all individuals on pretrial release remained arrest-free, and 99.63% of all individuals on pretrial release remained free of violent offenses. Turning to enclosure number 3, compliance. Regular reporting of all compliance or related data continues. Our PREA, or Prison Rape Elimination Act, audit was held the first week of December. We are currently in the process of responding to the auditor's request for additional documentation of certain practices. The National Commission on Correctional Health Care, NCCHC, audit will likely occur in May or June, and the American Correctional Association audit will occur the last week of October. Turning to enclosure number 4, population. There are 1,294 admissions, and there are 1,338 releases. We had a high count of 1,187 and a low count of 1,072. And Commissioners, I see I have a typo. That should say we have on the ADP, that was an increase of 30 to 1,142, not a decrease. The average length of stay for individuals released in January, the overall average length of stay was 27 days. 52% of our inmates stayed longer than 72 hours, and their average length of stay was 55.96 days. 48% of inmates were released within 72 hours of being booked, and their average length of stay was 1.3 days. There were 80 custodial sanctioned bed days. That is a significant decrease. The U.S. Marshal average population decreased from 84 to 72. The average felony pretrial population was 779, an increase of 24. The average daily misdemeanor pretrial population was 143. That's an increase of 19. Probation violations remained stable. 21% of our population were between the ages of 18 and 24. 66% of our population were minorities. 15% of our population were female, and 22% of our population were homeless or nearly homeless. That is the highest percentage we've had in well over a year. And my data that I looked at only went back 13 months. I don't recall it being that high for some time. Enclosure number 5, medical and mental health. There were 1,054 intake screenings, and there were 349 health and physical assessments. 20 individuals were taken out for emergent medical care transport. 7 of those were by 911. There were 4 hospital admissions, and our total days of hospitalization were 11. There were 27 off-site specialty medical appointments. There were 142 initial psychiatric assessments and 334 initial mental health assessments. 87 individuals were placed on suicide precautions. 161 individuals were placed on drug and alcohol detox protocols. We had 4 Board of Mental Health referrals approved. The Lincoln Regional Center wait list is 18, and there are 21 individuals currently at the Lincoln Regional Center. And Commissioners, last month there was some discussion about the LRC list, and to provide some clarity from our perspective, while there are certain people that basically live at the Lincoln Regional Center in one area, from our perspective, they are either most of them are going there to get their competency restored after they've been deemed incompetent by an evaluation that typically takes place at the jail. They have psychiatrists that come and do those evaluations at the jail. Occasionally, those evaluations actually do happen in the Lincoln Regional Center. But it basically, for our purposes, they are there while the state attempts to make them competent to stand trial. And 2 people were administered a total of 3 doses of Narcan or Opvee. Turning to enclosure number 6, our security operations and honor guard. Our crisis negotiation team was deployed 7 times in January. 3 were in conjunction with CERT. Once when an inmate came in possession of a padlock, once for an inmate who had damaged a sink, and once for an inmate who was damaging property and threatening aggression. Additionally, once for an inmate who had barricaded himself in his cell, and for 2 medically mandated showers. Each of these incidents were resolved without the need for physical force. Our emergency response team, or CERT, was deployed 11 times in January. Issues addressed medically mandated showers, 2 individuals in possession of contraband, 2 cell extractions, a barricaded individual, and deployment in our highest security housing unit after a coordinated attack on housing unit officers occurred. One of these incidents resulted in staff and inmate injuries. There were 8 area searches conducted. Recovered items included altered batteries, springs, a brown leafy substance, altered headphones, papers containing other individuals' personal information, excessive linen, and an unidentified liquid. Our honor guard provided services at Captain Patrick West's Celebration of Life gathering. We had 1 staff member who was assaulted, 4 who were injured during use of force incidents, 7 who were injured during training, and 1 individual who had another injury by slipping and injuring their knee. Enclosure number 7, staff development, wellness, and retention. There were 117 applications received for correctional officer positions. There were no interviews conducted in January. 26 cadets began academy training on January 5th. TAP, the Tactical Athlete Program 4-day training, is ongoing for all custody staff. Non-custody staff will receive the 1-day version of a self-defense version of TAP. All TAP will have been trained in in TAP by February, by the end of this month. Our annual training curriculum for 2026 has been developed and is scheduled. And policy updates regarding TAP and Strategic Inmate Management, or SIM, are ongoing. 16 staff members utilize the Wellness and Retention Office. 4 staff members were referred to external mental health resources. We have a new leadership training course for our supervisors, and that will launch next month in March. Our Spring Wellness Fair will be held on March 24th, and preparations are underway. And planning is underway for Corrections Week activities scheduled for the first week of May. In other noteworthy items, we have a very bittersweet opportunity with the passing of Captain West and the upcoming retirement of Captain Sweeney to take a fresh look at the leadership team at DCDC. We will hire both captain positions this month, and once the leadership team has its new composition in place, assess the duties of the captains and the captain's equivalent rank. We will look to assign responsibilities according to each individual's talent and interest to create the most effective team we can to lead DCDC over the next several years and set DCDC up for sustained success in the long term. We have begun operational planning meetings for our mental health edition, which will open in late 2026. We have covered topics including staffing levels for custody, for mental health and medical, training and selection of staff, even the uniforms they're going to wear, the reentry resources will be in place, and programming and daily routines, as well as a host of security-related topics. And lastly, as we've referenced already today, Captain Patrick West passed away on January 2nd after courageously battling cancer for several months. Pat had a tremendous historical knowledge he acquired during the nearly 36 years of service to DCDC. Pat rose through the ranks, beginning as a correctional officer and promoting to sergeant, and then to lieutenant, and finally to captain. He was known as a mentor and friend to many. Pat was one of the people I relied on the most to help me as I directed this department. His loss leaves a deep void in wisdom and experience that will be difficult to overcome. I'm grateful to Pat for his dedication, loyalty, and friendship. And as DCDC mourns his loss, we thank his family for sharing him with us. He will be deeply missed by all who had the privilege to know him. With that, I'm ready for your questions.
Thank you, Director Myers. We'll go to Commissioner Fahey.
Thank you, Director Myers, for this report. Just a couple things on, hang on. So on page 2, enclosure 2, I did want to just thank you for including those 2 stories about the individuals who reached back out. You know, this board, we deal in the empirical, but the anecdotal is, we can never lose sight of it. And so I'm always grateful when you sort of highlight those individual stories for us, particularly when we have individuals who are formerly incarcerated who come and speak before the board. So thank you for including that. I think it's meaningful. Enclosure 4, sorry, no, I back up. Enclosure 3, on the PREA audit, and if I've asked you this question before, forgive me, at some point, do we get a report regarding the audit or what that looks like?
Yes, and so that report is kind of an evolving process. PREA audits are a little, what I've found is they are a little less prescribed than an ACA, American Correctional Association audit. And we always end up with, you know, there are 3 years between audits, and we end up with a different auditor's perspective. And a lot of times it's like, well, we met this standard by doing this in the jail I worked at. And so then they ask us to make that change or to demonstrate that change. So that's kind of the process we're going through right now. We always get asked to do, I guess a simple example, we got asked to put some frosting on windows in our holding cells in our admissions area, like the bottom third, to better restrict the views from the day room.
Sure.
You know, we've had umpteen pre-audits and nobody ever asked us to do that before. So
Right.
That's kind of the process that we are going through with the auditor right now. But yes, eventually there will be a final report once all of the things that she's asked us to do, that we've been able to, you know, either through taking photographs and sharing them with her, or, you know, sending out different policy notifications, any changes that need to be made, we send that, and then we'll get that final report.
Okay, so yeah, obviously there's a dialogue. It's a back and forth. I understand it's fairly granular in terms of the changes, but she authors the report, and then we
Correct.
get a copy of it. Okay.
Correct, yes.
That's great. Could you, just because I think it's probably, I'm sure, critical for your guys' work, but moving to page 4, enclosure 7, can you just talk very briefly about the new leadership training course for supervisory employees?
Very briefly, because I'm not necessarily going to be the person on my team who can best articulate it. We looked carefully at a course. We're basically merging 2 courses, and I believe Maxwell and Gallup both have leadership courses, and we researched what some other agencies are doing, and I believe we're emulating the Nebraska Department of Correctional Services has sort of a blended course where they take elements that they found the most applicable of these 2 curriculums and blended them into a course for their supervisors. So that is the leadership curriculum we're going to roll out. It's needed. You know, our previously kind of our training when people became a sergeant was a lot of check the box, just, you know, these are the things you need sure you need to have done, or that you make sure your team has done each shift. But that true leadership, that the way to hold people accountable, inspire them, develop their skills, that is probably something we haven't done a great job of. So I'm eager to get this curriculum in place.
Great. Okay, thank you for that. I did want to just very briefly commend you on remembering Captain West and also delivering your report. I know it's hard when we lose friends and colleagues, especially the giants among us, and I know Captain West was that. And so just to let you know, you're seen as well, and we're grateful for you carrying on in this time. So thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner.
Thank you. We'll go to Commissioner Borgerson.
Thank you. You pointed out one of the things that I noticed right away in the increase in the homeless population, because it's normally, right, it was 18 and 19, it stayed at 19% for quite some time. Is there some reason you think that sticks out as to why there was an increase there with that population?
Let me check one thing real quick. I was just checking, on the first page of enclosure 4, Heidi Altic tracks trespassing arrests. And it actually says they were down. There was 115 people that came to jail for trespassing. That would have been my first guess if we had a spike in that. I have no explanation as to why that occurred.
It might be worth, because the population is small compared to the total, but it might be worth looking at charges of those individuals in more depth.
We should be able to run a report that tells us that.
Okay. And then on the pretrial, when you talk about the 225 individuals that were placed on it in January, and then you say a total of 1,571 were supervised, that means total since?
So a typical case lasts, I'm sorry if my voice this morning, Commissioners, a typical case, a felony, for instance, will take about 6 months to get through the court process. So if you're putting about 250 to 300 people on each month, you're going to end up with that number total of that 1571. So we basically were at the point where we're putting somewhere between 200 and, I believe this month was down a little bit, but between 220 and 300 people go on pretrial a month. They stay on for about 6 months, and then about that same number drop off each month. So that overall number maintains, fairly constant. But that just basically that larger number reflects all of the people who had a current open case on pretrial in January.
In January.
Mm-hmm.
So are we able with maybe not because we just got the software, but are we able to look in totality of when we started to now and then talk about the success rate, if you will, from that total number versus just the monthly?
I've asked that of our pretrial staff. It will be a long, intensive man-hour project
Because we didn't have
because
the software.
the old data system, it
Right.
just simply wasn't doing what the vendor promised it would.
Right.
So it would mean finding somebody who had the time in their day to start going back and entering historical data into the new system. The first priority is to make sure the data we have right now is accurate and complete. Maybe I can find an intern or something who can go back and enter the historical data into the system.
Well, even just a total of, since we started, this is the number. I know.
Oh, sure. How many
understand
people have
we
been
may
put
not
on?
have-
That is a
right.
number we could tell you, how many
Okay.
people have been put on pretrial release.
Okay.
And absolutely.
And then lastly, I'm running out of time here, but did you look at the NACO Leadership Academy for training of your supervisory staff?
We did not. That's probably something for our more senior leaders that I could take a look at enrolling them in.
It's really for everybody. I mean, at all
Right.
levels, but anyway, that
Okay.
might be something to look at.
Will do. Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you. Other questions on the corrections report? If not, we'll go ahead and wrap it up. Thank you, Director Myers.
Thank you, Commissioners.
For your report. I'll take a motion to adjourn corrections. Motion by Rogers, second by Morgan. Vote on that.
Commissioner Borgeson. Commissioner Fahey. Commissioner Friend. Commissioner Morgan.
Yes.
Commissioner Rogers. Mr. Chair.
Yes.
Motion passes 6-0.
I'll take a motion to reconvene Board of Commissioners. Motion by Rogers, second by Morgan.
Commissioner Borgeson, Commissioner Fahey, Commissioner Friend, Commissioner Morgan,
Yes.
Commissioner Rogers. Mr. Chair,
Yes.
motion passes 6-0.
Mr. Clerk, do you need to take a fresh roll call, or am I good to start?
I think the vote we just did is
Perfect.
good enough. So thank you.
Sounds good. First item of business are Section 1, Parts A and B, which is the approval of the minutes of the Board of Commissioners meeting held Tuesday, February 3rd, 2026, and B, approval of claims submitted for payment process through Tuesday, February 24th, 2026. Do I have motion second for both?
Second.
Motion by Rogers, second by Morgan. Please vote.
Commissioner Borgeson, Commissioner Fahey, Commissioner Friend, Commissioner Morgan, Commissioner Rogers. Mr. Chair,
Yes.
motion passes 6-0.
Thank you. Next, we have our consent agenda, items A through I. Do I have motion second for discussion?
So moved.
Motion by Morgan, second by Rogers. Are there any questions or comments on the consent agenda by board or public? If not, we'll vote.
Commissioner Borgeson, Commissioner Fahey, Commissioner Friend, Commissioner Morgan, Commissioner Rogers. Mr. Chair,
Yes.
motion passes 6-0.
Thank you. That takes us to our committees. Under finance, we have our budget report as presented, as well as our monthly fee report, also as presented. Under HR, we have our weekly personnel report from civil service, also as presented. I do want to note that we'll be on recess the next 2 weeks, which includes President's Day next week, and we will be returning on Tuesday, March 3rd, 2026. With that, we do have a need for executive session for the purposes of litigation, labor negotiations, and anything else, Patrick? Good? Yes. And legal advice as well. Anything else?
Could I have a point of privilege?
In a second, yeah. All right. So again, litigation, labor negotiations, and legal advice. Before I take that motion, I will give Commissioner Borgeson a quick point of privilege.
I just wanted to announce, we had our second Douglas County countywide chili cook-off, and it was a huge success. We had 8 participants that had won within their respective departments or offices, and then that winner came and participated in the countywide. Our third place winner was Samantha Roby from HR. Our second place was Nicole Goldberg from purchasing, and our first place was Valerie Hill from corrections. And I just want to thank all the participants for what they did. And the chili was delicious. But I also want to thank especially Kim and Colby, Leah and Jake, who did a great job of helping get this all organized. And it was a lot of fun. And congratulations to the winners.
They're all winners.
And the judges, too.
They're all winners.
They're all winners. And we had 3 judges from outside that were actually previous Channel 6 reporters or photographers, and they did a really spectacular job on it. So it was fun by all. So.
Perfect. Thank you. With that, I'll take a motion for executive session.
So moved.
Motion by Morgan, second by Rogers. Please vote.
Commissioner Borgeson, Commissioner Fahey, Commissioner Friend, Commissioner Morgan, Commissioner Rogers. Mr. Chair,
Yes.
motion passes 6-0.
The board will now go into executive session for the purposes of litigation, labor negotiations, and legal advice. Thank you.
Motion to reconvene and adjourn by Commissioner Borgeson, second by Commissioner Morgan. Motion passes 5-0. Commissioners Rogers and Kavanaugh were absent. We're adjourned at 10:16 a.m.